It looks like we've got Jessica Goida,
Present. Yeah, I'm present.
Bruce Joy, Jeff Bunn,
Present.
June Williams,
Present.
Courtney, Hoyt Fox,
Yes, present. Thank you.
Justine Brotherston,
Present.
June Williams,
Yeah, present again.
Dinah Mackinson,
Present.
and Mike Fowler in the back.
Present.
All right. So I'm just going to just quickly read the electronic protocols here. Just so everybody knows, please take note. The meeting is video and audio recorded, and all electronic meetings are uploaded to the municipality's YouTube page.
Understood.
By registering to participate in the meeting by electronic means, you're consenting to have your likeness and comments recorded and posted on YouTube. Further, please note that the meeting attendees do not have video or audio capabilities. And that's okay for everybody?
Mhm.
All right. So the opening remarks here, item number 3 on the list here. Everybody's got a copy of the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, opening remarks. I've already done the protocol. Item number 4, confirmation of the agenda. Everybody's got it?
Yeah,
Yes.
if we can just get a resolution that the Recreation Committee approves the May 18th, 2021 agenda as circulated, that would be great. Or are there any additions? I guess we should check.
It's Dinah here. I have one thing on the rec report 2021-002 and 003. On page 2 of 3 of both of them, if we could add under the public engagement, Puzzlant event spaces, Wellington weddings, promotion of facility rentals. If you could just add under persons or persons responsible, if you could add Puzzlant today on both reports, that would be great, because that's another free opportunity for us to get the news out.
Okay,
Is that clear?
We'll do it
You know-
as,
You know which reports I'm talking about?
yes, I believe so.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. That's it.
Goals and objectives.
anybody else? So we'd like to take a vote that we approve the minutes.
I,
Oh, sorry, this is for the agenda as amended.
As amended, okay?
yes,
In favor.
Okay. In
In
favor?
in favor.
Any
Wait, Who
opposed?
was our mover and seconder for that?
I'll move.
No. Okay.
Jessica moved, June Williams second.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 5, any disclosure of pecuniary interest before we move on?
No.
Nope.
All right. And we've approved the minutes, it looks like.
No, we'll just do that next. If we can get a resolution or a mover and seconder for that the Recreation Committee meeting minutes from February 16th, 2021 be approved.
I'll move. That's Dinah.
Diana moves,
Second.
June Williams second. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
I,
All right, is there any business arising out of the minutes?
I just had a question. We were going to, we talked about the YMCA camp. And it's got down here that someone was going to check into the YMCA to see if they were going to do their camps this summer or not. I guess that depends on COVID.
I haven't heard anything. I think
Unless I read that wrong.
Has the township heard anything?
I'm not aware, but I can add that to follow up if we'd like a staff direction.
Okay. Is there any other business arising out of the minutes?
Well, I think there was also the policy on the Lynch Trails dog leash. I'm just going from the minutes that we were to get a report on that.
So I believe the direction that came out of that discussion was just to ensure that the trail, the Wellington County Trail map was added to the website, and we did ensure that that was added.
Okay.
Great.
All right. If there's anything else, we're going to move on. Everybody's okay?
Yep.
All right, we've got a lot to read through tonight and go through. Item number 8, the consent agenda. 8.1, Recreation Committee fourth quarter revenue and expense information. I don't know if anybody's read in our package there. There's a lot of negatives.
Yep, read it.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to talk about?
No, it seems straightforward.
It is. Money going out, no money coming in.
Yeah.
I think the only question I'd have for maybe Mike, and he might know, I'm just curious if those curtains that were put on the ice rink, if they prolonged the season at all, or if we had any idea if they helped. I know, we laid out a bit of money for it. I'm just curious if it was a solution or not.
Yep, in discussions with the facility operator, Richard, he felt that there were certain times throughout the winter during some mild spells or warm winds that it did help keep the ice. Compressors didn't work as hard. Unfortunately, near the end there, we had a contact switch that failed on one of the compressors. It wasn't identified quick enough to be fixed, and unfortunately we lost the ice. But we had the ice up and running early December, and we pretty much, well, we were about a week and a half short of Easter, so I call that a very successful ice season, considering it's
Yes.
technically an outdoor rink.
Well, that's good news. Thank you. All right. Is there anything else from the revenue and expenses that we should talk about?
Not for me.
No.
I think everybody will see that it doesn't matter if it's COVID or a pandemic, the expenses still continue. So whether it's hydro or maintenance, so not a cheap facility to keep going. So all right, well, what we'll do is do we need to make a motion to accept the revenue and expense information?
Yeah, if we can get that consent agenda item 8.1 be received for information. If we can get a mover and seconder for that, that'd be great.
All right, who would like to move? Bruce makes a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Seconder? Dinah seconds. Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
All right. Is there any correspondence?
No, no correspondence.
I don't think our delegation was able to join us.
Actually, she is on, so Courtney can move her over.
Okay. Hi, Margaret. How are you? Just give Margaret a minute here.
Jessica, how are you liking your fiber?
It's been really great, actually.
Good. Yeah,
Really helped because we have 3 kids
yeah,
doing online school, so it's been a game changer for us.
that's good. Yeah,
Hopefully everyone will have it soon.
I hope so.
Looks like Margaret's joined. Margaret, welcome to our meeting.
Hi, Margaret.
Seen the whole thing, so,
Hi, Margaret.
hi, June.
Great to see you.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak on behalf of the Aberfoill Agricultural Society's concerns regarding the grounds for the Aberfoill Fair?
Well, I think, Vinny, one of the things that I'm a little concerned about is I'm coming into it with really, I have a lot of background with fair, as many people do sitting on this call. And I'm not exactly sure where rec committee is wanting to go from here, what kind of input they want, because I know that several people sent letters indicating the needs of the fair. We also understand it's a once a year fair that does bring in a fair bit of money for I'm not necessarily for the township, but for surrounding places where people go to eat. A big part of that is continues to be parking for the fair, because at the same time we have the library and also the market, which is sometimes a problem for us and people wanting to pay. And of course, the horse show. So I think the horse show is a big factor on that Saturday morning. And as you know, Vinny, the tractor pull on the Friday night is a big draw as well, at least from our perspective. So looking at the designs, the master plan, I understand, funny enough, for Bruce and I haven't seen Bruce in probably 2 years, and I meet him tonight while I'm out for my walk. So we had a little chat about the baseball pitch not being moved. So I'm not quite sure where or what more to tell you that you don't already know. I guess that's my perspective, because I don't want to go blah, blah either.
So what kind of problems, just because some of the folks on the committee probably have not, been to too many of our fairs, you can probably enlighten us that, yeah, parking is always tight on fair day, but maybe Mike Fowler might know how much parking we may have, for the 2022 fair, because it looks like that construction should be finished by then. It's
So then, all right. So then if we go back to the original, I guess Friday night is when we bring in the tractors and we have the big tractor pull, which of course needs equipment, very large equipment. Where will they be parking? So that's number one. Visitors, not such a big deal because they can walk from the front. But we don't need or want, I'm guessing, any of those tractors grinding up pavement if they were to park at the front and move to the back. That's my guess of what may occur. And if that's what rec committee, the township, does not want, then what other options do we have? As far as the pony club on the morning of the Saturday morning, they're there early, about 8:30. I would even say 7:30 actually, and they're ready to set up and go. And the biggest thing for them is the trailers and the movement of those horses and the downtime of those horses between shows. Where do they go? We cannot have them walk across the highway, even if there is a guard there. We're talking children who probably are young as 6, maybe up to 16. So we cannot be asking them to bring horses across for a variety of reasons, safety being one of them. I don't know how many of you have had the chance to go through Lynch today with the road closures or the one laner while they fix the road. So that's traditionally what's happening here on a regular basis. So I just can't fathom them coming across the road and parking in the back. behind where all the trucks are behind the village. So then what other opportunities are there? I guess there's Doug Lane's grass, whatever that little lot off the back of Maple Leaf Lane. Once again, we're going to have the movement of horses. How safe is that? And does the township and or the Fall Fair have enough insurance for a child being kicked? Because who doesn't love to pet a pony or a horse? Many. And then, so I guess it's parking and trailers and I guess just liability. So I'm not quite sure where you want to take that, Vinny. Or members, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, it's definitely a little bit of a problem. I mean, I went back to the property on the weekend and
Mhm.
it looks like there may be a little bit more room than what I thought there was going to be. But, you know, I'd have to look at the plan and see where everything's going to go. But it is going to be still very tight and we're going to lose a lot of parking. So my suggestion possibly to the committee is maybe we can go to council and see what they thought about, you know, for the first year of the fair, maybe to get some of the people that are coming on the Saturday, maybe to shuttle them from the township offices parking lot to the fairgrounds. But that still doesn't do anything with all the trailers and the trucks and the tractors. So, you know.
Yes, and I know that when I spoke with Karen and Stuart, who I thought were coming tonight, but I guess maybe they, good for you, Jessica, to have five out here. It sucks. So I'm just envious of your connections out there. So maybe wherever they are in the township, it was very glitchy today, so maybe they couldn't come. But basically, I spoke with Karen last night and she said, if they do not have space, there will be no horse show because no one's liability would cover a horse kick, someone spooking a horse running off because it gets loose. Let's say the trailer's parked down in the at the end of Maple Leaf there. That means someone has to be on guard, well, for lack of a better word, to manage all those horses, and there can be up to 30 in at any given time during that morning. Actually, I think all day that goes until late afternoon. So, you know, you have to bring the tackle, you have to bring the food, you have to make sure that your horse is water and fed between jumps. So we look at it as being a small part, but in reality, it's a huge part of what happens that none of us really know because I don't have horses. But that it's more the liability and where do those trailers go? And what do we do about horses walking in and out by the horseshoe pit at that back? Is that safe? Absolutely not. Is it walking across the Highway 6? Absolutely not. We have too many trucks for that. And young kids with a horse, no thanks to that. So I guess open for some suggestions. Any questions? I don't know what more to say.
Benny, Karen
Yeah.
is in attendance and she actually has her hand raised.
Perfect.
If we'd be able to
Okay.
have her.
Yeah, can we welcome Karen?
Hey, Karen.
So Karen Cullen, she manages the horse show part of the fair, her and her husband, and the Guelph Pony Club she's involved with. And are you on here now, Karen?
I am.
Perfect.
Thanks. I mean, Margaret summed up our conversation fairly well. But I just really want to emphasize the safety concerns we have. Some of the horse shows that we go to where the trailers can't be parked right where the kids are. They provide portable stalls, places to tie the horses up for safety. But I think that would be very cost prohibitive for us. I don't know what it would cost to rent something like that for the weekend. I would imagine it would be several $1,000s. And then I guess the other concern with parking the trailers further away is then security, because people have a lot of very expensive equipment in those horse trailers. And I'm quite apprehensive about the public having access to horses that are tied up to trailers, especially people that maybe think they know how to handle horses and approach someone else's horse and could put themselves into an unsafe situation. Where when we've been able to have the horse trailers right beside our show ring, we always have adults with eyes on, and we provide our own security for that area. I don't know if anybody has any questions about.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions for either Karen or Margaret, please unmute your mic and ask away. And maybe we may have some recommendations to make to council.
Dinah here. Sorry, guys, I don't have my video tonight. It's internet related down here on concession 1. I have an out of the box thought, and I don't know if this is crazy, but what about, there seems to be a lot of issues with having the horse show on the grounds there now. And I hear all of that and understand it. What about having it off site? There are a lot of horse barns, whatever, here in Lynch, like Sunrise, that are equipped for things like this. What about having it off site?
We definitely could run a horse show off site. That wouldn't be a problem that way, except then you're looking at renting arena space.
Right.
And I don't know what the cost of that. I don't know if Sunrise would be open to us doing that. They certainly have a lovely show ring there.
Yes.
Then you do also lose all the revenue from the participants in the horse show of them being at the fair as well. It kind of loses its fall fair feel.
Right.
But our club, our pony club, certainly would be quite willing to run a show.
What if you were to charge a nominal fee for going to, like, for people going to the offsite, that, you know, if they go to the horse show, they pay $2 or something like that? And as far as Sunrise charging, I wonder if they would be open to, because, you know, they're a charitable organization and are always having fundraisers, and wonder if they would be open to some sort of, I don't know, I'm going to call it a deal, a negotiation, a kindness to offer the community it for nothing, or for exposure.
I have my doubts. I live right
you?
beside them, and they won't even let us ride there.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you understand then. Okay.
Margaret, you had your hand up?
I do, because I can't find the button that says raise my hand. So Dinah, the problem with that I see is that we use that part of Pony Club agriculturalness for not only the awareness part, but as part of the fair. And often our grants, for lack of a better word, are based on how much agriculture we can bring to our fair. So if we start taking away pony clubs and sheep clubs, then we already have people saying, oh my gosh, once I see the hall, what more is there? What more is there to offer? Well, not a whole lot, because as you know, the expense is over the top. So that's my downside for even having that thought of asking Karen not to come.
Well, that's a big downside.
I do know we've lost the cattle ties. I think they kind of fell apart. You know, we've lost the cattle part of the show, and we're slowly losing a lot of the stuff. So we're trying to keep whatever we got, I think, you know, coming to the fair. So Bruce?
I have a couple of comments and questions for Karen. I come from a family that has gone to many horse shows. My wife is a Western rider, so I understand the concerns that you have. Questions. You said about 30 people go to the show? 30 ponies? 30 trailers?
Yeah, about 30 horses and ponies. Probably about 20 or so
Okay.
trailers.
Okay. And how many people or spectators that are not the horse people have you seen in previous years?
I
Because
find
one of my
the-
question is I think it is part of the fair,
Yeah,
and taking it away off-site would remove the fair atmosphere.
absolutely. Yeah, I find the stands are full all day with people coming and going. They'll come for 30 minutes or 60 minutes. And as they leave, the next group of people come. And we also use that for our pony club for advertising as well, to try and grow our membership.
So I was thinking, and I'm not sure if the tractor pull area is going to be enough space to get 20 trucks and trailers in there. I'm not, I'd have to look at it. You might have to paint or like spots. But I like the idea of the portable posts, and my wife has done that many times where they've gone to fairs and they've had these portable stalls, let's put it. And that would be where that open grass is, where the entrance is, and then the public would not be allowed back there. I'm assuming they're not allowed anyways. Because ponies are probably warming up in that area, would you say?
Yeah, we have a little warm up ring kind of behind where the tractor pull area is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think, I
that
just,
would be
I
my
don't know
only
what
suggestion.
yeah, I don't know what the cost of portable stalls or tie posts would be.
Yeah.
We certainly would have to look into something like that, and that would be a reasonable alternative. If horses could be dropped at the fairgrounds and then the trailers taken to a parking area or something like that, maybe.
So are the trailers, you got the big trailers or are the smaller 2-horse trailers?
Well, everybody has their own trailers. I
Yeah.
would say the majority of them are 2-horse bumper pulls or 3-horse goosenecks. But I know there are several people with trailers are big 5-6 horse trailers, which are kind of tough to maneuver
'cause I'm
around tight
thinking that-
spaces.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you could put 2 lanes, like the first one in goes all the way to the end of the tractor pull and comes out. And then you have on either side. I don't know how many you could fit in there, 15, 20? But then
Yeah.
again, the bleachers are there too.
Well, the bleachers, and I don't know if they're going to be replaced or not, but they are movable. So we'd have to move them the night before, like late Friday night. So
Yeah, that would be a challenge.
Yeah, and I don't have a good visual as to how big that space would be, because I don't know exactly where the new soccer fields are going. I'd have to maybe go with you guys and take a look at it and see if there's space to turn trailers around there.
Question for Mike. Do you think if you were trying to move those bleachers, they'd fall apart?
No, they're currently structurally sound. We moved them plenty of times for lawn maintenance. So during the summer months, we usually just move them to the tractor pull. That way it frees up all the grass space and it doesn't hinder the mower. But just to clarify, Vinny is correct. They are identified to be replaced in the near future. So chances are they'll be even a lighter aluminum design. So
Right.
I have a question.
yes.
So forgive me for not understanding sort of the way that the parking situation has been set up in previous years, but I have attended the fair for multiple years, and I know that the way it has always sort of operated is that the horse trailers, and I guess also the tractors for the tractor pull on the Friday night, have always parked in what will become the new soccer field. Is that correct? And so how, like, what is the damage that, and maybe this is a question for Mike, how much damage does that do to the the grass itself. And I'm not suggesting that we park everything on the new soccer field. I'm just curious as to what the impact of that is on the field.
To answer your question, Jessica, I guess it would all depend on the weather. Let's say a couple weeks before the fall fair event. If we had a dry stretch of weather,
Yeah,
the turf could probably hold up against the equipment on it. If we had wet weather leading up to the fair, chances are there would be quite a bit of damage in rutting and, you know, turning horse trailers around and so on. So it's very hard to speculate
okay,
to give an answer, but to sum it up, it would be weather dependent.
yeah,
I just also need to remind people that this is only the first phase of the parks master plan. So if we do get to the point where we reach phase 2 or phase 3, now we're in a situation where the soccer field will be lit, where we now have large towers for lights that could hinder the open space as well. So
yeah.
there's several factors still in play here.
So what do you think, and maybe Bruce can chime in on this, the way that the fair has been set up before is that all that parking happens in the back, and the sort of the family events, the tents and the kids stuff and all that happens in the what is now the soccer fields. If we flipped that and had, Bruce is like gonna kill me, if we had the trailers park in the what is now the soccer fields, and moved the kids stuff and the tents to the new soccer field, do you think that those fields would sustain the damage from the new soccer field would sustain the damage from all the foot traffic, and the existing soccer field could sustain the damage from the trailers?
So my opinion would be, for the first 3 years, you shouldn't really put any equipment onto the new soccer field.
Okay, but
new one.
but
Okay, because
is there any equipment with the sort of the
with the
family
trailers,
area? No, but if we
the
put
horse trailers and stuff.
if we put those on
So-
the what is the soccer fields now?
Yeah. That would destroy those as well.
Mm.
See, you used to put the trailers on a hayfield. And it was a hayfield, and it would get somewhat damaged. But it was a hayfield. Now the township has invested $250,000 onto a soccer field. I don't think you guys want to ruin your investment. My humble opinion. I don't think you should be able to put anything on there for the next 2 years. We don't even think we're going to play soccer on it next year because of the grass and stuff. So I wouldn't recommend doing anything.
Okay.
Also, if I could just jump in there, to Mike's point, if you get a lot of rain before, then and it's planned that way, even the foot traffic and anything that's there. I mean, they have rides and things too, right? So if you have rain the 2 weeks before, it's, you know, we had our propane tank switched out, and the guy came on a day with his big truck, and he totally gouged out the side of our lawn. It was like, but we didn't care, you know, it's on the other side of the garage, but it was a mess. It was a horrible mess. And he said, you know, unfortunately, this wouldn't have happened with his big truck if it hadn't been for that rain. It was only a couple of days of rain. So I think that Bruce is right. You want to protect your investment, and you can't depend on the weather, right? As Mike said. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I think at the end of the day, everyone on this committee agrees that the Aberfoill Fall Fair is an important event in our community, and we don't want to lose it. And
I also have another idea that just came to me. at the fall fair, you guys aren't using the baseball diamond, are you?
So we usually have it for kids' games and the sheep show.
Okay, because you could put the horse trailers in there because it's an established field. And it is locked, it's fenced in, so the spectators couldn't get to the horses. So
I
that would
don't
be a
think
safe
we could,
area.
I don't think we could navigate the horse trailers in and out of that baseball diamond with the fencing.
No, there's a big gate,
Is there?
huge gate.
Okay.
You
I
can
think the
drive in
horse-
and out.
Actually, Bruce, if I may.
Yeah.
When it comes to the baseball diamond, that is anything to do with the outfield will be off limits. That's currently the weeping bed for the PCC septic, so
I
I
didn't
can't
think
have
about
any
that.
equipment on that.
Yeah, you correct.
I'm wondering though about Jessica's thoughts about the current soccer field. I wouldn't think the horse trailers would be any harder on that than the equipment bringing in all the tents and rides and things that we're bringing in there now. The ground in September, even if it has rained, the ground is generally pretty hard packed. It's not like the ground in May right now where everything's really soft.
Sorry.
Yes, Margaret?
Oh, sorry, I'm unmuted. So just to be fair to everyone, when that's a boggy mess where those the blow-ups, where all those blow-ups are, is the bog behind them. So we have to make sure that it's out. Even now, that's all boggy in like along that river part. Yeah, and unless we had like a full month of no rain, it still has some bog in it just because of where it's placed. So the only tent that we do have is that one that's really far down, mostly because we need the electrical. That also can have a lot of water because we have all that water that comes off the pavement and sits in that soccer field. So it doesn't matter where you are, it's absolutely weather dependent. So you have to avoid certain pitfalls in there. It looks good, but and I don't know. I think they try not to drive on that as much unless it's like the ATVs, I think.
Okay, June?
So the new soccer field, that won't completely fill that property, will it? I didn't think that it would take up that whole field. Bruce, do you know?
It
How
takes up,
much of that-
I would say it takes up half of it, half to 3/4, half to 2/3.
So
Right.
there isn't like a strip along, say, the where the horse arena is, there isn't a strip along there that's not part of the soccer field?
That's what I was talking about, right beside the tractor pull.
Mm-hmm. So,
Probably got about 20 yards. So it's theoretically possible, but I would think the horse people would have to go out and investigate to see if they think it's enough space.
mhm. So
And the
Karen,
fact
has,
that the
Sorry, go ahead, June.
so Karen, has your crew gone out there to take a look to see, you know, what could possibly work for you?
We haven't yet, but I'd like to do that. I don't know
Mhm.
if Bruce or Vince wanted to meet us out there some evening and kind of explain to us exactly where the boundaries of things are, and we can figure that out.
Mhm.
Well, I'm hoping maybe Mike might be able to enlighten us when they think some of these phases might be completed. I know we may not have a publicly attended fair this year, 2021, but how's the timeline looking for the rest of it?
Just one sec, Vinny. I just gotta polish my crystal ball here. So I know the township and Mary and finances are doing all they can and their due diligence and looking at grants and everything. We seem to be on track for phases to be implemented, but as any concrete answers, I'm sorry, I can't provide that.
No problem. Thank you.
So I'm sure if we went out there, there's got to be some area in that great big space that's left over, a hidden gem where we could park the trailers.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was going to suggest to Karen that I go there every day just to check on the status because it's on my way to work. So I can meet you before or after, anytime you want.
Okay, that would be great, Bruce. I don't know if I
If
don't think
anybody
I have
else
your
wants to
phone number
join us?
anymore.
Yeah, if
I'm
anybody
around most evenings too. So,
Actually, it would be a very good time to go and view the site right now. Currently, we have silt fence up around the construction area. So that would be a good identifier on how much space you have. Basically, whatever's on the inside of the silt fence will be dedicated to the soccer pitch. So this is your opportune time to see, we'll say, how many square meters you actually do have to work with.
I think, Karen, I've seen it. I think you'll be quite surprised at how much space is there.
Okay, yeah, that would be good if I was
Yeah.
kind of, I guess, under the assumption that that whole area would be unusable for us.
Mhm.
No, you've got some space. You've got about 40 yards width,
Okay,
maybe more.
all right, yeah. I mean, anytime
So if you want
from
to send me
Friday on, I'm off work recovering from surgery right now, so my days are completely wide open.
Okay, is there anything else before we move on? Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Do you guys want to make a date or to meet? Or have you already?
Maybe we could just circulate it through email and then whoever is able to attend can.
Is that okay, Karen? We've got your email and we've got Margaret's email.
Would we like to establish maybe a subcommittee just to look at the Aberfoill Fall Fair parking situation, and then they report back with a parking recommendation for the September 2021 committee meeting?
I'd be okay with being part of that.
Okay, so we'll have Vinny on the subcommittee. Would anyone else like to join Vinny?
I will.
Perfect. And then maybe we'll just do a resolution that the Recreation Committee receive the delegation by Margaret Howard regarding the Agricultural Society's concerns regarding the fairgrounds for the Aberfoill Fall Fair, and that the subcommittee provide a report regarding parking options for the Aberfoill Fall Fair to report back to the September 2021 committee meeting.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. All right, so Margaret and Karen, you're welcome to sit and listen in.
Can I just get a mover and seconder for that?
Sure,
I'll
I'll
move.
move.
I
I'll
have one
move.
question.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead,
Sorry,
Bruce.
Bruce.
Do I understand that you're not having a fall fair this September?
We
Or are you going
will,
to postpone it till next year?
well, as far as I know, that we're still looking at having one. It may be kind of how the Santa Claus parade was, a drive-through format. But it's all dependent on, when people can gather and come out. So this year, we may not need a lot of parking. It may just be staging in the front parking lot and a drive-through type format. But we will be doing something for sure. So we just need a mover and a seconder for the committee.
I'll move.
I'll second.
So June Williams move and Bruce second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And sorry,
Yes.
Bruce, we decide June 9th for your question.
I'm sorry?
We decide on June 9th at our meeting
Okay,
about
okay,
that fair. Okay?
okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. So Margaret and Karen, you're welcome to sit. We've got about 2 hours of stuff to discuss. But if you want to go and you want to enjoy the rest of the night, you're more than welcome to.
Anyways, thanks for inviting us. I know it was good to just communicate if for nothing else. And I'd love to stay, but not tonight.
Well, we
Margaret.
really appreciate you guys coming for sure.
So, yes, we do. Margaret, do you want to stay just for 11.1? It's about the baseball diamond complaints regarding pet use. Do you want to
Oh,
just say
sure.
that?
Yes,
Great.
yes, I can.
All right.
Your input would be much appreciated.
I'm gonna leave. Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to speak.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Thank you,
Karen.
Karen.
Thanks, Karen.
Stay well.
All right, so we're going to move on to committee and staff reports. It's very busy, so we'll start with 11.1, baseball diamond complaints regarding pet use. Diana Mackinson?
Thank you. Yes, actually, it was Margaret who brought this to my attention greatly. That's why I asked her to stay. There have been complaints about people using the baseball diamond and leaving their dog's business on the diamond. Well, I understand that this is really hard to monitor or do anything about in terms of catching people doing it. And I don't even know if we have a bylaw about people stooping and scooping. There have been, I guess, Margaret, and she has heard from some people that people are doing this. And I think most people know that you are supposed to pick up your dog's business, so we can't stop people from doing that. Today, I only did it today. I went on to see what Toronto does in terms of, bylaws and all that. And they have a whole page about pets, which is amazing. And what they're doing to solve their problem is in terms of people not picking up in public areas, is they're increasing their green bins availability so that, and so that people are encouraged to, pick up and dispose of it in the green bin. And I'm just wondering if there's any other ideas about what could be done about respecting this space.
Let's go ahead, Justine.
Yeah, so I did speak with our bylaw enforcement officer, and he stated that this is kind of a mixed issue between animal control enforcement related to the poop and scoop, which can be enforced by the Cambridge Humane Society, and the unauthorized use of the ball diamonds, which would be considered trespassing. At this time, we do not have a parks or municipal property bylaw that regulates the use of municipal parks and space. Therefore, the only way that we'd be able to enforce it at this time would be to forward it to OPP on a case-by-case basis. I also spoke with our Director of Public Works prior to this meeting, and he did recommend that we could install or consider installing no dog allowed signs at the baseball diamonds.
That would be helpful. Not everybody's going to follow it, I don't think, but should we have a bylaw regarding this, or is that a lot of rigmarole?
I think the baseball players would appreciate it.
Yeah,
I think a bylaw is only as good as our ability to enforce it. And
That's
I
right. That's right.
yeah, you're right, Jessica. Yeah, Counselor, yes.
You know
You're right.
what, and I don't know what everybody else is thinking, but those old horseshoe pits haven't been used in a long time. And it wouldn't be much to put an extension on the fence and go down a bit more and make it a bigger fence. And it's already lighted, partially lighted. And the fence isn't very high, which, wouldn't that be something to have a little fenced-in dog park near the parking lot there? And it doesn't even have to be any kind of fancy fence. It could be something temporary since everything's under construction. I don't think I've ever in my life ever seen anybody use those horseshoe pits. I think we spend more time cutting the grass around them and trimming And if you had a lot of dogs on there and got rid of them, it'd just be a clear cut. So I'm sure there's somebody that has spent money and time and put them in and fundraised and, you know, but I don't know, horseshoes have kind of died, you know, a long time ago, apparently, so.
How big is that area, Vinny?
It's not very big, but it could be extended fairly easily down a little hill and, you know. It's not a bad size.
I think the tennis club would love that spot to move their tennis courts. It's high and dry.
Mhm.
Yeah, just an update, Vinny, that within the Parks Master Plan, that area has been identified for a couple shade structures and outbuildings. So that is something that has to be considered.
Mhm.
But sorry, and I know I'm not supposed to speak, but the whole goal of any is to keep the poop out, not provide a pooping spot, right? So
Mhm.
does it not, I don't know. I have people complain to me like I am supposed to be on a rec committee. I don't know. It's a
Well-
privately run spot where no one is managing because we just don't have the manpower, right?
Well, I do know that the city of Guelph, for example, has erected cameras and lighting, and they keep an eye on the properties 24/7. So it's a little bit of a deterrent for people to kind of pick up after their pets. You know, whether the cameras are monitored on a regular basis, I'm not sure, but you know, I think it's a good deterrent. Or, you know, some simple signage when people are coming in, you know, on the entrances to the ball diamond, you know, stating that fines would be imposed or, you know, that there are penalties out there. So.
Would it cost a lot? Would I know the signage would be great. I agree with that. And secondly, would it cost a lot to put up a CCTV or something, some sort of cameras, motion detective cameras, and say on the signs that the area is being monitored? I don't know how much that would cost. I bought something to watch my cats in the house, and it cost.
I do know, and Michael confirmed that there is some cameras being used at the Optimus Rec Center. But, you know, good quality cameras are a lot of money and monitoring, and it's another bill, and, you know, it's one of those things, if nobody enforces it, you can have cameras all day long. You know, how are you gonna identify people? You gotta have good quality cameras and somebody is willing to watch them, you know, and go after and enforce it, so.
People don't need to know they're not being enforced. I know
Yeah.
people put up fake cameras on their houses.
Mhm.
So I'm not suggesting we do that, but like something, I don't know. Mike, do you have any thoughts on that? Councillor Goida?
Well, I currently know that there are signs at the front of the PCC and also off Maple Leaf Lane that identify. It's a generic sign that identifies dogs must be leashed, and please, you know, stoop to scoop. So
yeah,
we do have signage for the entire property, so that already encompasses the ball diamond. As far as enforcement, again, this is a very tricky situation where just because you were to say catch someone on the poop cam,
yeah.
it would probably be days or months later until you identified them, and really what would you accomplish with all that administrative work?
And what law are they actually breaking? I think, like, what would you actually be charging them with? I don't.
Right, because we don't have a bylaw.
So sorry, so we actually, in terms of enforcement for picking up after your dog, it is actually in our dog and kennel bylaw. Under section 5.4, the owner of a dog shall remove forthwith any excrement left by a dog on any public or private property other than the owner's property, and shall provide for sanitary disposal of such excrement, and the fine is $100.
Oh,
Just so that the committee is aware.
Right.
And then just regarding maybe what we can do is staff could bring back a report to the September 2021 meeting for consideration in our budget process for the 2022, if that would make sense for the committee.
Yep.
Yeah, and, it'd be nice, I don't know what employees, township employees ever catch anybody with loose dogs or dogs that are, not under control. Maybe could verbally educate some of these people on some of the bylaws and some of the things that could happen, but I mean, I know it's tough. They've got a job to do too, so.
How about an article on Lynch today and in the Lynch Pioneer. I'm not saying advertise in the Lynch Pioneer, but I'm suggesting an article just enlightening people about the issue and the bylaw and the fine, and that there are signs up. And, is there anything that staff could do to put together some information, Justine, that we could publish, and maybe you could send to the Pioneer as well to publish as an article? Just as a start.
It's a great idea.
So if people are aware of this and there's a little bit more awareness, and somebody sees somebody with their dog and not picking it up, they may just be inspired to walk over and go, hey, you're supposed to pick that up, eh? And it's free. It's free. It's free, because I'm sure the Pioneer would be happy to publish an article. They always publish your articles and for free, and we'd be happy to do that as well on PT.
Thank you.
Well, Courtney, I might look to you for some help on this. Like, I know in terms of submitting media releases, it's not always a guarantee that they're picked up by the newspaper that they're submitted to. We could consider staff looking into education in terms of advertising on our own sites.
Yeah.
Sure, Justine, maybe with the committee's direction, if they would be okay with just staff looking into some education tools that we can do. I know that if we don't meet until September, we kind of miss that window of the summer and the outdoor time. So as long as the committee is okay giving staff that direction to kind of see how we can educate, given that we do have the ability to enforce in the bylaw right now.
I agree.
So are we going to look for a direction or a motion? Yes, Margaret?
Margaret.
Yeah, sorry. So Justine and Courtney, the only drawback that I can see to what you're pursuing is the fact that a lot of those people are South End, but we do have a lot of people in this area. And I know for a fact the 3 people that complained to me about this read both the Pioneer and the Lynch today. So I've never not known those 2 papers, local papers, not to pick up anything that's been printed by the township. So it would satisfy the people who are doing the constant complaining of what they are seeing. And that would alleviate that part of it. So at least you're looking at something being done versus being worried about it not being picked up locally. Those are my 2 cents, because I know I'm going to hear about it again, and I'm going to tell them what you're proposing. So.
All right, thank you.
Yes, so if we get a press release, we'll definitely publish it, and I'm sure the Pioneer will as well.
Okay, so I'll leave that in the hands of Justine and Courtney to get something together. I also like the idea of the extra green bins, since we do green bin recycling. It'd be maybe something to consider. I know we've just got garbage cans and some nice fancy ones by the York, but maybe a couple more of those green ones, kind of where dogs would travel and people would walk their dogs, might be an idea, with some signage about using them for disposing, I think that'd be a good idea.
So just in regards to signage and additional green bins, that would have to be a budget consideration for 2022, as the Recreation Committee doesn't have that in the budget for this year. So I think that's just why we're recommending bringing back a report in terms of enforcement, education, and signage for the September 2021 meeting, so that we can incorporate that into budget consideration for 2022.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You need a mover.
A mover and a seconder here.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay. Everybody's all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
All right. We'll move on to section 11.2 here. The Puss Lynch electronic sign. And this is a sign that's located on the road in front of the Puss Lynch Community Center. Diana?
Yes, this is actually redundant because I put in this request before the subcommittee met on how to promote our facilities, and the sign was included in that. And that was just my ideas. Can we use the, and Justine, maybe you can help me on this, whether we even need to discuss this because it's part of our plan in that's going to be presented, I think, in September, right? Using the electronic sign more effectively for the promotion of our facilities. Should
Yeah,
that be left for then? That
Sure. Just I guess to give a little overview, yeah, it is being discussed by the subcommittee for the promotion of facilities. Just let you guys know, it is being used, or it has been used in the past and will be kind of used again once facilities reopen in terms of advertising.
Right.
But yeah, we'll be looking to, I guess, kind of increase that and do it as effectively as we can moving forward. But yeah, it will be included in a report at the September 2021 meeting as well.
I jumped the gun on that because we had met.
Oh,
before.
no, that's all right.
Okay, great.
Were there any questions from the other committee members regarding the electronic sign?
You know what I was wondering with that electronic sign? I've heard a lot of people complain they have a hard time reading it and seeing it, and you know, and I mentioned that all the lights have been burnt out for several years now for all the other stuff. You know, what would happen to upgrade that sign to a nice color, you know, television type sign where you can actually see things on it clearly, and it's bright, and it's red is just so hard to read when you're driving down that highway. I think a lot of people like the old-fashioned letter sign, to be honest with you. I'm kind of wondering if you know, if the township's explored any upgrading of that sign to make it more legible. You know?
Could we include that in our talk when we talk, Justine, when we meet again in June on our for our subcommittee? Because you know, I don't know about the budget implications on that. Obviously, there's no budget for that, but I know that we had also discussed, Vinny, about how to use it more effectively, like having messages that catch people's attention quickly in one line. Like we are definitely working on that, but you're right, that sort of TV sort of thing is also very effective.
They're really nice, you know, and I know those signs have a lifespan, and you know, whether it's reaching the end of it or not, I don't know, but I think it might get utilized more if we could put some real cool pictures and so make it look really flashy, you know. People are gonna be like, yeah, I want to be on there, you know,
So maybe we could include that in our subcommittee meeting in June, Justine?
Sure, we can discuss that then. I can look into what the lifetime line is for the sign and if there are any plans for it to be upgraded or changed in the future.
Great.
Okay, is there any more comment on that?
Well, Vinny, the optimist, erected that sign, so maybe you want to head up a fundraiser. And they can upgrade it.
Well, if we get to do any more fundraising, that'd be a great idea.
Well, maybe the subcommittee can help. You never know, because that's our job, right, June?
That's it.
So maybe that could be also included in our subcommittee meeting in June. Justine?
Okay,
Yes, certainly.
Is there anything else before we move on?
Just can I get a mover and a seconder that the Recreation Committee receives the report post-lunch electronic sign for information?
Okay, who would like to move?
I'll move.
Diana,
I'll
seconder?
second.
June Williams, all in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Okay, 11.3, engage Puss-Lynch project proposals. So you'll see that there was a package sent out. Justine is going to enlighten us. I read through it, it looks pretty cool, so.
Yeah, Courtney, can I just get you to enable screen sharing for me?
Sure, just 1 sec
Sorry,
here.
my apologies for not mentioning that earlier.
No worries. There you go. It should work now.
Okay, perfect. All right, so is everyone able to see the proposal guideline there on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I just wanted to give the committee a quick overview of the proposed form for the Engage Post-Lynch project proposals. So we've just kind of gotten through finalizing this form. So this is what we intend to use going forward. And this is the form that kind of our subcommittee will be looking to use to report back ideas for potential bang the table projects at our September meeting. So what staff has done is we've developed this proposal template to receive project ideas that would benefit from receiving public consultation or public engagement. And the proposal guide application is broken into 4 sections. So this first section that you see here, the project proposal and responsibilities, it just outlines the projects proposed for Bang the Table that they would benefit from community feedback. And then it outlines how that page is going to be created by staff, so the legislative assistants. And then that the person who has requested the project will be added as a project admin, and we'll give a little bit of training on that. But there's a little bit of information there. And then, oops. For the project sections, this just outlines all the components that make up the project page. So this section provides information that's to be included in the application. So for example, it talks about here that you need to provide a project description, and it tells you kind of what the max number of words for that should be. I don't know what's going on here. Additionally, it goes through the tools. Hold on just one moment. Let me reopen the form.
Anybody want to stand up and stretch?
Sorry about that, my apologies. So it takes you through the tools. It even shows some examples of what the tools look like. And then in section 3, it goes over the reports. So you'll get a summary report and a detailed report. Those will be pulled by the ledge assistants and provided to the person who requested the project. And then section 4 just is the proposal form itself, and outlines the information that we're looking for. And it just asks you to kind of check everything off and also provide the draft of each tool or widget that you're requesting. So that's kind of just an overview. Did the committee have any questions about the proposal form?
So I have a quick question. So is this going to be for the general public, or are we going to use this as a committee to use it as a tool for us to gauge public interest?
Yeah, so it's a tool for the township, so for the committees, council, and staff to use to gauge or to get feedback on projects from the township. So it's for the public to engage with us.
Okay, but the public can't submit their own ideas and their own project ideas?
No, it's just an internal tool.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, it looks great.
I
Good
feel
job.
It's going to be great. Yes.
Perfect. Well, in that case, can we get a resolution that the Recreation Committee receives the report, engage Post Lynch project proposals for information?
So I'll move.
I'll
And,
second.
Jessica, all in favor?
All right,
Aye.
I,
Okay. All right. Just go back to my form here. Well, thank you very much, Justine. That was great. We'll keep you on the line here. Training opportunities.
Yeah, for
You-
sure.
I see that you found 4 different things that we could look into in the future. Could you explain everything?
Yeah, for sure. So this is just a few opportunities I've pulled together. So 3 of the 4 opportunities are free. So the Canadian Parks and Recreation Association offers free webinars throughout the year that provide resources, tools, and best practices for parks and recreation practitioners in Canada. So I thought this was a really great resource that the committee could utilize to kind of get more information on various topics related to Parks and Recreation. And then they also have an application called The Bench. And this is a free online community that's open to all Parks and Recreation professionals and practitioners. And this just promotes knowledge sharing. So again, it's a free opportunity for our committee members. And then the only one that had a cost associated with it is the Parks and Recreation Ontario Annual Educational Forum. So I'm just working on the details regarding cost for this forum, and then I was going to bring that back to our September 2021 meeting for budget consideration. And then the last one is also from Parks and Recreation Ontario, and they just outline various funding opportunities that are available in Ontario for recreation. So I thought this was another great resource for the committee when looking for funding opportunities for our projects.
All right, thank you. Is there any questions?
no,
I think this is great. I'd love to be
Yeah, it
involved in the
is.
free and any training that's available. I would absolutely entertain and enjoy.
Wonderful. I think it's a great opportunity as well. A lot of that stuff looks like it's low minimal cost, so it can benefit everybody. So I guess we'll just need a motion to accept the training opportunities as read by Justine.
I'll move.
And seconder,
I'll second.
June, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you. Stay on the line, Justine. You're gonna be here for a bit. Update on the delivery method of Pusswich Community Newsletter.
Yeah, so at the February committee meeting, staff was asked to look into an alternative delivery method for the Lynch community newsletter. So currently, Dinah is provided with the content that's submitted by our approved community groups, and then she formats this into a PDF to be uploaded to the website. And then I upload the PDF under the post section of our website, and it's automatically emailed to subscribers through MailChimp's automation as configured through our website. So this requires people who receive the email to then open the PDF to view the newsletter. So in accordance with the request from the committee, I'm recommending that the following alternative delivery method be implemented. So Dinah would be added as a contributor on the Township of Lynch website. So this gives her access to the post function only of the website and does not give her the ability to publish directly. So she'll be able to create it in the back end. And then once the newsletter is created, I'll be able to go in and review the newsletter and then publish it. So by creating this newsletter within the post function of our website, it will then email the newsletter directly to those who have subscribed and remove the step of opening the PDF.
Dinah, is this something that you want to do?
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about it. It's not much more work, to be honest with you. I'm familiar with MailChimp and I'm familiar with working on the back end of WordPress. So it's an easy transition for me. I also like it because a lot of people these days are very hesitant to open up any sort of link or whatever. So this is definitely a better option because they get it in their email and it just opens up and there's the newsletter and they can unsubscribe if they don't like this. But it also gives them the option to share with others and invite, and then those people can invite others and sign up for the newsletter. So it's a great way to spread the news. And I'm happy to do it.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate you helping out. Would you like somebody else to help you just in case you happen to have a vacation or something and you need someone to do it?
Well, Vinny, you're already my backup.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
how familiar are you with, well, I can, if need be,
Well,
are you familiar with WordPress?
I can figure it out.
It's easy.
My brother looks after Power PDF software and stuff. He could show me if
Okay,
we
good.
need anything.
'Cause
So
you are, I haven't, obviously it's been, we've all been in lockdown for a year or well over a year, so I haven't needed a backup. But yes, you did offer to be my backup, and I'd love it if you'd still continue to do so.
that's no problem. Okay, is there any other questions before we make a move to? Any questions?
No.
Okay, we just need a mover and a seconder of item 11.5.
Can I actually just get I kind of have a specific resolution for this one. Can
Okay.
I just get that the Recreation Committee receives the report delivery method of the Post Lynch Community newsletter for information, and that the Recreation Committee approve the new delivery method of the Post Lynch Community newsletter?
So does everybody make a motion that we approve the committee or the report as read?
I will.
I'll make the motion.
Bruce makes a motion, seconded by Jessica. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay. All right. Item 11.6, Recreation Committee budget. Justine's going to report on the budget.
Yeah, so this is really just kind of a heads up for our September 21st, 2021 meeting. That will be our budget meeting this year, just because we moved our meeting from August to September. Each year, the township begins its budget process in August. And as part of that process, advisory committees must submit their budget requests for that year to support the committee's goals and objectives for the following year. So just in the report, I did pull the Recreation Committee goals and objectives from 2021-2022 that have financial implications. In terms of moving forward, I'd like to work with the subcommittees just to figure out what those asks are going to look like, so we can provide a preliminary report to council, just so they can kind of get a heads up prior to our budget ask. Additionally, I asked if our Director of Public Works could provide a little more information to the committee just regarding the costs associated with a drinking fountain / water refill station. If you would be able to provide some information for us, Mike.
Yep, with several quotes given, it's going to be approximately around $4,000 for the installation of a drinking water fountain at the Orc. Currently, this is probably will be the absolute last thing to open or be allowed to be operational, especially during the pandemic. So just a little info on that. So yeah, roughly between $4,000 to $5,000 with taxes is what we're looking at for the installation.
Perfect. Thank you, Mike.
Mike, is that the same type that's at the university and in the schools?
Yes, well, I'm not quite sure. I haven't been in a public school for quite a while. It'll either be a stainless steel design or it could possibly be a porcelain design.
Okay. Is that I did look into the pricing a couple of years ago when I started looking at this, and they were around $2,000, but that wasn't including installation.
Yeah, unfortunately, as many of us know, with any type of contractor rates nowadays, plumbers are not cheap.
No. Well, I think, thanks, Mike. I put a call in to, and June's been doing some work as well. I think we're gonna come back with, possibly a sponsor or some money if we can get some raised. You know, now that we know what we're looking at, and hopefully by the time we get to move forward, get it installed, hopefully everything's behind us and, the gyms and what have you can be opened again. Is there any other comments before we make a motion?
Yes, there is. On the Bang the Table subcommittee, it says here under status timeline update, it says staff to provide proposal template to the committee at the May 2021 meeting. Is there a proposal template on Bang the Table that we should be expecting? I'm on that committee with
Yeah,
Jessica.
that was the one that we went through earlier. Engage, Push, Lynch, and Bang the Table. It's the same platform.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. So we'll just make a motion to accept the budget. Is there any questions on that at all, or?
There's just an additional portion to that resolution as well.
Okay.
So just that the staff report, Recreation 2021-002 regarding the Recreation Committee budget be received for information, and that subcommittees in collaboration with staff provide a preliminary budget report to council for information at a future meeting.
Okay.
And if I can get a mover and seconder for that one.
Jessica, did I see you put your hand up?
Sorry. I was waving at a neighbor. I'm sorry.
Just moved.
Okay.
But I will move.
Jessica, and a seconder?
I'll second.
June, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's great. We're making progress here. Recreation Committee goals and objectives for 2021, 2022. I think you've seen the chart in our list or in our package there. Is there anything you'd like to say, Justine, on that?
No, it's just an opportunity to review them and ask if there's any questions about the status of any of our goals or objectives.
Is there any questions from anybody?
Nope.
No, I
Okay.
just want to say thank you, Justine, for keeping this up to date. It gives us so much more purpose and ability to follow up. So thank you for putting this together.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
course.
you.
I agree.
Okay, well, I'll get someone to move that item on the agenda.
I'll move.
Ed,
I'll second.
Diana, seconded by Bruce, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, grant application status, item 11.8, Justine.
Yeah, for sure. So
I promise I won't bug you anymore after that.
yeah, so I reached out to our treasurer and she just let me know that we've been in regular contact with the federal and provincial governments, but at this point, there's been no formal announcement or notice received for future funding regarding the grant opportunities at this time. And we've also checked with other municipalities regarding similar applications made under those programs, and they're just all in the same situation. So once we have more information, we'll be sure to update the committee.
Now I have one little question there. I know with small businesses, you know, we've applied for various grants and funding. Does township employees, have we had to reduce or lay any of them off due to COVID? Is there any eligible stuff that the township can apply for? You know, we've lost, you know, a lot of the bookings, you know, but we still got to maintain the, you know, utilities on something that we don't use. Like, is there anything like that available to the township?
I'm not sure. I can ask, or Courtney, do you have?
Yes, without having the technical wording from the treasurer, we did receive or we've been allocated an amount of money for COVID relief that the township has been allocated, and I do believe that it's been incorporated into some of the budget models that you may have received in your reports today. So it is designed to help municipalities kind of make their way through COVID with those shutdowns of facilities and staffing and that sort of thing.
Okay, I'm just curious if the kitchen was completed at the township hall. I mean, I haven't been in there in a while, but you know, Mike might know a little bit more on that.
I meet with the architect tomorrow, Vinny.
Wonderful. Okay, is there anything else on the grant application status that anybody would like to discuss before we get a mover and a seconder?
Nope.
Anybody like to move?
I'll move.
June, seconder? Jessica?
Yep.
Is everybody all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 11.9 Parks Master Plan update. Mike, your turn on the, give us an update.
Basically, we're looking at phase 1, which entailed the back soccer field. This project began in mid-April. We are currently ahead of schedule with construction. Currently, we sit at all rough grade and design work is now complete. We are just in the next phase of retopsoiling, seeding and fertilizing. That'll be within the next month, weather permitting. And currently, we're just waiting on some soil samples and pH samples for our topsoil supply. And hopefully the topsoiling can begin within the next week or two. And that's basically all we've managed to get accomplished within the Parks Master Plan.
Okay, well, that's great. It's glad to hear that the shovels are in the ground, and we knew it was coming, and it's good to see it start to happen. So thank you, Mike. Is there anybody have any questions for Mike before we get a mover?
I do. Mike, it's Bruce. Are they bringing in topsoil or using the existing topsoil that is piled up?
Currently, we plan on using the majority of the on-site topsoil. It will be screened and treated for proper phosphates, pH, sand content. And then any remaining topsoil has been sourced and will be provided by the contractor.
Nice. It's looking great, by the way.
Diana, did you have something?
No, I'm good.
Okay, anybody else have any questions before we make a motion?
No.
Okay, would anybody like to move item 11.9?
I'll move.
Bruce, seconder?
I'll second.
Jessica? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, tennis club update, Mike.
Sorry, Vinny, you were broken up there. Can you repeat that, please?
You're up next, 11:10 tennis club update, if there is any.
Not really too much of an update right now. Currently, we're still under the same rules and regulations with the pandemic. That will be continuing into this summer. Currently, post-pandemic, the township is in discussions moving forward with the tennis club. That's not a lot, but that's all I have to report at this time.
Okay, is there any questions from anybody for Mike on the tennis club?
Nope.
All right, I'll just need a mover and a seconder for Mike's report.
I'll move.
Diana, and seconder?
Bruce.
Bruce, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, one last time, Mike, item 11, fields, parks, playgrounds, COVID-19 update.
Well, basically following public health and the provincial government's guidelines, currently only playground equipment is essentially open for public use. Technically soccer fields, baseball diamonds, basketball courts, and tennis courts are currently off limits for the prevention of people gathering. It's my understanding that changes to these policies could be coming very soon as far as opening a little more amenities up.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Mike before we get a mover for his report?
I have one.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Mike, I've noticed on many occasions that people are at the various baseball and soccer fields, but there's no signage that it's closed and off limits.
That's
Thoughts on
correct.
that?
Basically, the township has taken a stance where these areas have been basically considered open space, public areas. Technically, when they refer to these facilities or venues as being closed, it's more in line with, we'll say, league rentals or group play.
Yep.
So again, it's basically on the merit of the general public where the township allows people to be on their lands, but we ask that they don't congregate or start any shinny or pick up ball games type of thing. So again, if these type of events happen, that's where the township relies on the OPP to enforce the no gathering rule.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I see many people do family outings. And I thought that was okay. I just wasn't sure if the fields were closed to everything. So that's what I thought.
No, currently it's just encourage that people don't gather.
Yeah.
The township views it as a father and son playing catch on a ball diamond is not a tremendous risk to the general public.
Perfect, thanks.
All right, is there any more comments or questions? I'll just ask for a mover to accept or to move Mike's report on the fields, parks, and playgrounds.
I'll move.
June
I'll
Williams
second.
move. Diana second, and all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that closes all the staff reports. Item number 12, new business. Is there any new business that anybody'd like to discuss?
Nope.
Not for me.
No, I maybe have a little question for Mike. I wasn't sure, all the pile of rubbish that's in front of the soccer courts or the tennis courts, is that from the road construction or is that our rubbish?
No,
parking lot.
that would be the current construction debris from the Brock Road reconstruction, which the county requested that the parking lot be a temporary staging area.
Okay, no problem. Is there any other new business before we, do we have to move and make a motion to move?
Nope, that's fine.
Okay,
no
we'll move
requirement
on
for
to
that
number 13 then. Announcements, is there any announcements?
None for me.
No.
None for me.
Okay, the only announcement I have is I've given everybody Monday off, so.
Thank
Good
you.
for you.
All right, anybody like to say anything before we move to adjourn the meeting? Anybody like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll
Almost.
I'll move.
Okay,
That was quick.
that was really quick. So I guess you guys could see the next meeting, September 21st, 2021. That'll be another big one with the budget and a bunch of reports. I hope everybody has a great summer and we will look forward to seeing everybody really soon. Hopefully, out and about. But if there is anything that comes up, don't be afraid to get in touch via email to township. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks.
Good night, everyone. Stay
Good
safe
night.
and well.
You too.
Good night.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye.
You
Thank
night.
too. Bye.